and I need a doctor to pull it out.
Fuck around and find out podcast. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different than our normal stuff, as we find that a lot of people that are interested in mushrooms are interested in gardening and farming as well. And that's something that we all share a love for here. So we're going to be talking about hydroponics and aquaponics today, the difference between the two. When you're talking about aquaponics, that means you're adding your fish and your other animals, which not just fish. I mean, I've seen them done with
crawfish,
shrimp,
basically a whole terrarium. You got to have a terrarium together.
I've seen it done that way. Yeah. And then when you're talking about hydroponics is that you're providing all of the chemicals and everything to grow in like a sterile substrate.
It's a closed system. It's a closed system.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then there's a whole bunch of different types, and we're going to get into them. Like there's a deep water culture, there's Kratky system, there's nutrient film technique, there's Aeroponics, which everybody's really kind of familiar with. Aeroponics, they have those little like aero garden type things that sit on the counter.
The little things you buy. Yep.
Yeah, they actually work really well if you follow the fucking instructions. I see people fuck up the instructions all the time, but they work really well. You just got to use distilled water, or you can't use your nasty ass tap water a lot of times because you have too much calcium.
You can depending on where you live.
Instructions unclear. Send Band-Aids.
Yes, Dick Cotton ceiling fan. Yeah. So,
Who's in here today?
Super, super excited. Oh, today we have Deadpool, John, and Michael Nutty. I'm just fucking pumped because I love this shit. I love talking about this shit.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking primarily about growing tomatoes and
not
tomatoes.
Yeah, tomatoes, and then like peppers, but like legitimate peppers, because I fucking grow some peppers. If you're in the room right now, you'll be able to see my weird little hybrid crazy setup, and the jalapenos that I grow that you could literally shove a quarter pound of hamburger in.
This is basically a one boofable unit.
You better
pissing me off. They know I'm hungry and they're messing with me.
If you're gonna try to boof one of my jalapenos, you better do some stretching techniques first.
Be a friend of KY.
The reverse Kegel.
If my jalapenos were a penis, it would be a BBC.
Or the BBG. BGB. BGC? I don't know.
Now you've lost me.
Now
there's a big, glorious cock.
Green?
BGC?
Gene?
Big green cock. All right.
Yeah. I thought it was... Come on.
I was like, hold on. It took me a minute. Anyway, so let's get started. Who wants to start? And where are we going to start on this? We're going to start with like the basic hydroponics, like the old school type. They're starting there and kind of work our way up.
Way to do it.
Wow, why don't we start simple and then we get fucking more,
the absolute stupidest, simplest way was invented by a guy. I don't remember his first name, but his last name is Kratky.
Kratky method.
The absolute, the Kratky method is absolutely the stupidest, simplest way in the entire freaking world to do hydroponics. What you do is you take a large container. A lot of people will use those like trash cans. The Rubbermaid trash cans. You got the nice tight fitting lid on. And what they do is you put one fucking plant, because the plant's going to get ridiculously huge. And whatever water you start with is it. You don't top off a Kratky system. So what
that's the one as the waters keep going down, the roots actually
it grows
to the air so that the water as that going down. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Now I know.
It actually grows special roots that are adapted to breathe oxygen.
But they have to stay moist. But they're right.
The high humidity of being inside the bucket. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your net bucket of your net pot of some type, pop you like a 2-inch hole in the top of your, like in the middle of your trash can, put your lid on, and then put your little net cup in there, and then your plant inside that net cup, and your hydrotron or whatever you choose to use, gravel, whatever you want, to hold your plant just in place. All right, and then you have the entire trash can filled with water up to the level of the roots. All right, just to the level of the bottom of the cup. Now you're going to take that volumetric like that actual volume of water, say it's like 30 gallons, 32 gallons, whatever. Really commonly is the 32-gallon trash cans. I've seen it done in the 25-gallon trash cans very successfully as well. But I think that most of it's done in larger type containers because of the greater amount of produce. One of the most impressive grows I've ever seen of a habanero plant was done in a Kratky system. And what they did is it was a single habanero. So anyway, back to how you do I'll get right there. I'm sorry, I'm really excited. So you take that volume of water and you put it into a little mathematical equation, and it tells you how much of chemicals you're going to add to that volume of liquid. So a lot of the times it's you use something called master blend, and you'll hear us talk about it several times throughout this podcast, just because it is super, super easy to use. A whole bunch of different companies make it. It is a hydroponic, completely water-soluble chemical fertilizer, and it's like it's really cheap. I buy mine on Amazon. I get like 20 pounds for $20, which is great. The only thing it's ever missing is it's missing a little bit of calcium and it's missing a little bit of Epsom salt. But it has every other freaking trace mineral and shit that you got in there, right? So it's really, really good. So I take the master blend. So let's say in a 27-gallon tote, it's going to say you need to add, like 6 cups of this and 3 cups of that and 1 cup of that. Well, you'd mix it all up in the water, and then that's it. You're done. That's all the nutrients your plant is ever going to fucking need in that water at the volume of water, and it accounts for evaporation and usage. So the salt concentration as it gets down there as well. So it's really, really simple. It's really, really easy. It sounds more difficult than it is. There's so many different like sliding scales you can find for gallons of water.
Right.
So it's like, it's literally, it's dummy proof. There's a lot of wiggle room. So you don't have to measure out to like the milligram or anything. It's just like, 4 cups of this, 1 cup of that, and you're good to go. But
if you ever want to find a really good recipe for the master blend mix, there's a guy on YouTube called MHP Gardener.
Oh, I fucking love that dude.
Man.
Yeah.
He breaks it down so simple. It's awesome.
Dude, the MHP Gardener, side note, MHP Gardener is one of the guys that got me interested in hydroponics the first time.
Me too.
With his Dutch bucket system was fucking, to me, super impressive. And if you look at my system, it kind of mirrors his, except that I moved the output way higher. So I had that, because I'm in Texas.
So what I'm hearing is he's going to be out on one of our Monday podcasts, is what I'm hearing.
I don't know if we'll be able to get him.
That guy quit social media altogether.
Yeah.
He doesn't even make videos anymore.
Okay, no, like I say, because I got no problem getting I love talking about farming and hydroponics on a fucking interview.
Oh, dude,
awesome.
the guy would be fucking great. So, anyway, Kratky system. Real quick, let me finish this up. So, you put all of your nutrients in once, you stir it up, you're fucking done, and then you put your plant in there, and then your plant just eats that, and as it absorbs it, the roots grow longer to reach more water, and so forth. The most impressive habanero grow I've ever fucking seen in my entire life was on somebody's front porch that they put just one bucket, a single habanero plant, and the fucking thing looked, honest to God, like an oak tree. It was huge. It literally shaded his entire fucking porch and over his living room in his house. It was massive. We're talking the base of the jalapeno plant was about 4.5 inches in diameter. Holy fuck. It was huge. He was... Yeah, the guy's like, we're getting like 25 to 30 pounds of jalapenos off in a week. And I mean, not jalapenos, but habaneros off in a week. I'm like, dude, those things are like fucking thin-skinned as hell. And you believe it because he took a picture of like right before it's like the harvest, and it's just gold. The entire tree is orange. And it's just amazing the amount of... It was easily 22, 23 feet tall and at least 20 feet wide. It was amazing. And that's what got me into trying Kratky to begin with. I think that Kratky would do great in places other than fucking Texas. I don't think it would do good in Arizona either. I think it would do good in a little places that actually get like weather besides like really fucking hot, right? Like I think it would do better in temperate zones. Only because I was battling evaporation at the same time as the plant. And the plant was transpiring a lot. So it was drinking a lot more, and it was using the water up at a huge volume really, really fast. So I wasn't seeing the full potential of the plant. But some of you guys, like, you know, in the Great White North or Canada, like
we do, it's really well, and especially if we're in greenhouses. We have greenhouses. It'll even work for the wintertime, too.
They allow you guys to have greenhouses up there? Don't like the polar bears break in and try to make nests?
No, we got penguins guarding that shit.
Yeah.
You got to train them when they're young.
You know, you're speaking of up north. That was what got me into hydroponics. Was, you know, living up here, we have a really short growing season. I was working construction at the time all summer long, and I was jonesing for my gardening, so I decided to take a winter. I took an extra bed or room in my basement, covered the walls in Mylar, and I built myself a grow room in the basement. I built a simple ebb and flow system.
That's what I always use, ebb and flow for my tomatoes.
But I'm walking around one day, and my wife had this little freaking aloe plant somebody had given her for Christmas or something. And my wife has the brownest thumb you've ever seen. I mean, this poor thing was on the front porch sideways, half the dirt hanging out of it, just dead, you know. And I asked her, "Hey, can I borrow this aloe? I want to see how it does in hydroponics." Oh, within 3 months, that thing had 4-foot long leaves on it. It just turned into a monster.
It wanted to thank you for actually feeding it.
It was just.
I've always wanted to do a fucking tree, like an apple tree, as hydroponics. Have you seen where, like, I think it was UC Berkeley, I believe, like, had tried that, and then there was the ag school here in Texas, in Alpine, Texas, had tried to do a hydroponic tree, and they found that the only real limitation to it was the sturdiness of the fucking tree, because the tree didn't have anything to grab onto to keep itself from tipping over. And once you get a tree that's super big, it's like a sail; it catches all the wind. You know,
right? I mean, you'd almost have to put like boulders instead of hydrogen in to hold it in. Yeah, at least on top.
You know, that would probably fucking work. No, I'd fill the whole bucket full of it. Fuck it, just like the entire container, just full of freaking rocks to counterbalance. I think we could do this. Who wants to try this shit on the new farm? Let's do a hydroponic fucking apple tree. Oh no, avocado, because those bitches drink a lot of water. Like avocados drink a lot of water. So let's do a hydroponic avocado as a FAFO.
Can you imagine that?
Fun, right?
Avocados take like 3 years to fucking produce its first fruit.
Nah, we'll buy one. We'll buy one that's already like 3 or 4 years old, and we'll just rinse all the fucking dirt off of it and jab it in there.
I'm not used to my guys wanting to cheat. All right, whatever.
I'm gonna cheat like a motherfucker.
Use and abuse.
Yeah.
Drink, fuck,
kill. Cheat. Yeah.
Then we can do some creative pruning to keep it from busting through the roof of your greenhouse.
No, that's what you let the top do its own thing.
I forgot. You live in the tropics. You don't need a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I don't need I need a greenhouse to grow coffee, and that's about it. Like everything else grows outdoors.
I thought coffee was a cold weather plant.
Yeah, it needs a greenhouse.
Well, it grows only in mountains, so.
Yeah, but those are mountains.
The mountains of Ecuador. Yeah. The mountains of Ecuador. And Brazil. I'm not sure exactly what the requirements are. I know it can't freeze, but
slave labor. I hear that slave labor.
It's required for good coffee.
Yeah, there's something about the tears of the oppressed. Yeah, it's like a aquaponics for them, like the tears of the oppressed.
I've had many people send me pictures of Jesse and Breaking Bad. Like when I go to visit Farrell, that's what it's going to be like. Where he's hanging in the garage,
the after zip line with all the scars and everything.
From a flow hood over to the fucking greenhouse. Yeah.
So anyway,
more braces on that chain there. He's a pretty hefty fella.
So we got the Kratky method, rock and roll, right? That's kind of the Kratky method in like a fucking like nutshell. It's really not more complicated than that, guys. It's super, super fucking simple. Let's talk about MHP Gardener and how he got me interested in this bullshit too. So he made a whole bunch of videos. What this guy was MHP stand for Mobile Home Park Gardener. He owns a mobile home park, right? In like fucking Alabama or some shit. And what he would do is if you lived in his mobile home park, he had this huge fucking garden that he would just feed everybody from the mobile home park with. And that was just like his. He was a very Christian guy and a very nice guy. Never swore or anything like that in his his videos. But
really?
he was.
What's wrong with him?
Dude's a fucking growing food genius, dude. Anyway,
he has like tomatoes that are like 5 pounds a piece, man.
No, it's not even. He's not even joking. He's not even fucking joking. Like his fucking corn plants were like 14 fucking foot tall sweet corn. It was just absolutely gorgeous. Anyway, he had this greenhouse that he put up, and he did a Dutch bucket system. And so what he had all these square buckets lined up on what are they like wooden concrete blocks? Yeah. He had them up on the concrete blocks with wooden planks across them to just kind of like even everything out. And inside there he had perlite, and then he would plant the plant inside the freaking perlite. And the Dutch bucket would flow for, I think, what do you say, 20 minutes on, 40 minutes off, 20 minutes on, 40 minutes off, something like that. And it would just recirculate back into a reservoir, and it would just constantly go. But he's got his tomatoes where, like, he was showing he had like a little pulley system to so that he could raise the plants as they grew, because they were touching the roof of his like 12 or 14 foot fucking greenhouse.
Yeah, they were going up and going sideways. They were so fucking big.
Just growing across the freaking rails of the greenhouse, like 12 feet tall. And it was just so impressive. And the way that he talked about it, he's like, this is really fucking easy. Like, he didn't swear, but he's like, this is really easy, guys, blah, blah, blah. And he was just so humble and so great. He made it so simple. And he showed you like step by step how to do everything. And then he was great at this stuff, but then people started like wanting to do drugs with his systems and stuff like that. And he just stopped fucking social media. People started bitching and started like demanding that he do certain things. Like people were literally moving into his mobile home park just to eat his food. And,
shit.
Yeah. And he had a big mobile home park, he would show it occasionally. And which was great, but then people started getting super demanding. He's like, screw this, not worth it. And he just stopped. He still has a garden and everything as far as I've heard, but he just stopped doing any social media because it was just not worth it to him to deal with the drama, people demanding certain things. They're like, I want this. Shit. Yeah, I want this. I don't want that. I want this. I don't want that. And then he was like, well, if you don't fucking want to, give it to your neighbor. I'm not going to grow peanuts just for you, But anyway, guy was freaking awesome. Miss him. I think he did his last video was like 7 or 8 years ago. But then he did one. All right. Yeah, he did one that was like a follow-up 3 or 4 years ago.
I thought he was coming back, man. I was excited. I'm still subscribed. Yep.
But he's still doing stuff, and he still looks great. He looks a little older. But he's still getting around. He's still growing. He's still doing all sorts of stuff. He just wants to tell people he's still alive, but still doing his thing. And that's his like outreach to, his time with baby Jesus and God and stuff is working his ground and feeding people, which is great. And he's a great guy for doing it. And he's so knowledgeable, but he shows you breakdown of every step along the way. Super great guy.
It's simple and easy to understand. That's the beauty of his
stuff. Whether it's in the ground stuff he was showing you how to do, or like the aquaponics stuff he was showing you how to do. It was all super easy.
He even showed you how to make a tomato sandwich. Everything.
Yeah, whole 9 yards. Some Southern food recipes in there, the whole 9 yards. Really great guy. So that was like a little bit about a Dutch bucket system. The Dutch bucket system is a recirculating system that has a drain in the towards the bottom part of the bucket, so that the water that is put through the plant just drains out. There's no reservoir in the bottom that's holding a bunch of fluid or liquid or your growth medium, your growth liquid. So it's like a flow. It's like a constant flow, constant drain system is what a Dutch bucket is. Everybody was talking about an ebb and flow system earlier.
Yeah.
And Deadpool, would you like to describe your ebb and flow?
All right. Well, the ebb and flow that I use for my tomatoes, it's basically just it's kind of this. They're all basically the same thing in different ways. But the way this one's set up is I made it a 4x8 sheet of plywood, right? And then I had the sides built up, and then you just put a tarp in there. So you're making a kiddie pool, all right? And then on the bottom, you're making you're making 2 drains. You're making one is a one-way and the other one is an overflow. Okay, so it'll only fill up to the overflow. And as long as that pumps on, it's always circulating. But that whole tub is full of clay pellets is what I always used. And,
the Hydrotron.
Yep. And basically what I would do is I would start my tomato, and then I would clone it. So I would buy one tomato from the Amish. You know what I'm saying? And then go ahead and make all the clones I was going to make, some cuttings from inside. I would keep the light far away so they were really stretching so I could really get some nice clones. But but all that is going from one reservoir, and it's recirculating back to the reservoir. So it fills up the whole thing, and everything gets wet. You know, the pellets are they're basically, it's almost like perlite where they absorb the water, so they're always there for the roots.
Expanded clay.
Yeah, but it keeps the roots moist. And you're basically, your clones are in fucking rock wool most of the time in a little net bucket.
Yep. And when the bucket fills, it pushes all the old air out of the bucket, and then after it drains, it sucks fresh oxygen back down for the roots.
Yeah, but I loved it, and you're constantly changing out. But with these, to get the best fruit or vegetables, you're basically you need to check. You're doing all the nutrients. You're checking, and the pH has to be pretty on point. It's not like mycology. With the pH, if it's too high or too low, it stops the roots from absorbing the nutrients that you need. So when you're dealing with a closed system like that, it is very important to keep. It's very sciencey, kinda, but not really. I guess you're just buffers. You're gonna learn about buffers when you're dealing with fucking hydroponics.
Anybody who knows me knows I'm cheap, right? Well, you got that fancy pH up and pH down and stuff.
I use vinegar.
I have a big 5-gallon jug of sulfuric acid for car batteries that I use.
That's pretty hardcore.
I mix it with some water and make my own buffer.
Vinegar. Yeah. I use
I always put a little bit of peroxide in my water to help keep the gunk down.
Hydrogen peroxide. Yep, I use a little hydrogen peroxide as well. But
keeps the roots from getting brown.
With your ebb and flow system, the bell siphon is the part that you didn't really describe there.
Right.
So on his outflow,
that was a one-way. It's a one-way.
Yeah, he has his pipe sticking up at where his maximum water level is going to be, and it's usually just slightly below the top level of your hydrotron, right? Yep. And then you have over the top of that a pipe that's slightly larger. So, like if you have a 1-inch pipe sticking up, you have 1.5 inches or sticking over the top of it, and you're going to have that sticking down to where the minimum water level is going to be. So once the water level raises inside of that pipe up to where it'll start overflowing, it's going to cause a siphon effect. The bell siphon will then suck all the water in your container down to the minimum level. It should shut off about then, and it just flood and drain and flood and drain. And that's the ebb and flow system, flood and drain system in a heartbeat. It's super, super simple. It works super well. It was one of the first systems, I think, that were ever invented.
Yeah, it works so well. I never changed. Once I went to the bucket system where you have separate buckets for everything, but it was still ebb and flow. But there was no reason for it. Yeah,
the ebb and grow system you could buy had buckets, but for modern people with the ebb and flow, they use a big table. You can actually buy the insert for a wooden table that you build that has all the stuff already in it.
That's pretty neat.
Yep.
Fancy.
Yeah, like 4x4 table.
The other one that I've done is I've done a NFT, which is nutrient film technique. And what I did with my version, so a nutrient film technique is where you have a highly concentrated reservoir full of nutrients, and you're just throwing a trickle through a PVC pipe or through a lot of people use gutters, like the square gutters.
The rain gutter grow.
And so you just have like a trickle of constant fluid going through there. And it's just going like if you ever seen those hydroponic grows,
there's sites dedicated to 3D printing just units for these gutter systems.
Yes.
Oh, that's a hybrid system, the one you're thinking of.
Yeah, if you've seen people who have like multiple levels of like the lettuce and shit growing, where it's just like level 1, then it Z's back and forth all the way to the fucking ground. That's a nutrient film technique type of way. And nutrient film technique was something that came up by NASA because they could use pressure and gel and put a layer of gel, like a hydroscopic gel, over the top, and then force some nutrient film, like some nutrient, through channels in that gel, and the plants can eat it without the risk of having water and like bubbles floating around fucking shit up. So
yeah, the one Deadpool's talking about, I don't know whether to call it hydroponics or not. It's really interesting.
It's more of an aeroponics kind of thing.
The one I'm thinking of,
they
take the rain gutters and they set them really low to the ground, but they're like wedged between two boards, and then they 3D print these triangle-shaped plastic deals that you wrap in cotton twine, and half of it goes into the gutter, and half of it sticks up like a point. And then you just take regular bags of topsoil and just throw it over it, and it pierces the bag. You cut a hole in the top, and you plant your plant. You're running the liquid underneath it all the time, and it just wicks up into it.
Huh.
Interesting, huh?
That's interesting.
So it's soil and hydro.
It works great, but I mean, I only did a small grow with it, so I would not.
Yeah, you're
like everything else.
Right out of the bag.
That's like some sort of ridiculous self-wicking container.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking cool.
Yep.
So we've got nutrient film technique. It's not any more complicated than a very small trickle. You can use a pond pump, an aquarium pump, something like that, or just a small ass fucking trickle, a little fluid. All you need through there is about, like, if you turn your faucet all the way off and then turn it on so you got one steady stream coming out of there, that's all you need. And to run the entire fucking system is just a small little pencil lead sized stream constantly running. And by the time it gets all the way to the bottom, it's pretty much nutrient deficient, because you're going to Z back and forth through, like, you're going to do a high density planting. So like
it trickles back out of the grow pipes, it aerates itself again too.
Yeah, you just have it drop like 6 or 8 inches into your tank, and it aerates the tank. So that's a
I grow that method outdoor in my art garden every year.
Nice.
I love hydroponics. I grow all the different kinds though.
And Aeroponics is where you're going to have a cylinder or two. Similar, you can do a cylinder or two, or you can do a bucket system, or however you want. And you're going to use like a pressure pump and those little micron spray valves. And you can get those. The ones I've used are the brass ones. You drill a 1/4-inch hole and you screw them in there. And they're used for, like, I guess, misting your outdoors to keep everything cool.
I always use the plastic ones, as long as you drill at one special size and they just screw in there.
I use those high pressure brass ones because I can treat those with vinegar to fucking unclog them, and it doesn't hurt shit. It doesn't hurt them at all. They unclog like really, really easy with just a little bit of vinegar. So I use those, and then I bought a piece of shit pump. I call it a piece of shit because it doesn't do anything besides this one thing. Well,
it doesn't take a lot of pressure either to get those things spraying like a motherfucker.
The one that I use is about 23 psi, I think, is what it comes out to. But it just missed. Like if you'd have picked the plant up out of the hole, it would just be like fog. So it works out.
Your face over a humidifier.
But you don't want to breathe that in because it's like got a lot of nitrogen and shit in it. It makes your nose tickle. So it's just you're just basically fogging constantly through this freaking pipe, and you can do % on, % off, stuff like that. But it works out. It worked out really well. I've done it a couple of times. Aeroponics, the company that does those little tabletop aeroponics systems and the larger systems work really well. I've seen my favorite aeroponics design that I've seen are those big vertical ones. Have you seen those?
Yes.
Like it's like the big vertical 6-inch PVC where they've melted it and then like bent it out. They put net cups in it and then have like sprayers going down that are just spraying all the time.
I 3D printed one. It's in my living room right now. Actually.
You dirty whore!
I thought I showed you pictures of that. It took like 5 rolls of 3D printer filament, but it was awesome.
Oh man, I've seen those things. I've been freaking eye fucking them for a long time. My wife's like, "This would be so cool to have inside." I'm like, "Yeah, it would be."
Trim and I we're sitting there for hours just trading fucking shit that we found online to print.
The only shit I gave a shit about when you guys got your 3D printers was guns. I didn't care about anything else.
Well,
I was like, "Hey, 3D print me something fucking that does cool stuff." And you guys are like, "Oh, we're gonna 3D print farming shit," and I'm like, "You guys suck."
We had a dedicated printer for those, but those were easy.
Right? No, but that's the only thing I cared about. I don't give a shit about the rest of 3D printing. I just care about that. Like, freedom, America.
Right,
that's all I give a shit.
I suppose while we're talking about equipment, I can mention my other aeroponics system that I have. I took a decent sized tote, one of those heavy duty black ones, with the yellow tops. Yeah. And I drilled about 20 or 30, I can't remember, 1-inch holes in the top of it.
Oh, you made a clone, a cedar?
And I made an aero cloner. It just has a little tiny pond pump in it, sprays mist up inside, stick your stems in there. I've got
one of those.
That was the most plumbing I've ever done in my entire life. I made one of those with the pond pump at the bottom, and then it shot up, and I made a halo, and I screwed the things on the halo. Yeah, it's fucking perfect for the clones. Perfect.
For people in misters, a pond fogger would work perfect for that too, by the way.
No. I made mine H shape, and I made it out of this old I had this old piece of shit square planter pot. And then I cut just a piece of like plastic cutting board to fit perfectly in the top of it. And then I just used a drill press and just pressed out like 1.5-inch holes. Put my net cup in there. But I found that the net cup didn't work so well for cloning like trees. So what I did is I took, that pipe wrapping, that foam wrapping that you wrap pipes with to insulate them. Mm-hmm. It's like a pool. It's like a pool noodle. So I took that and I cut, I've got fucking pictures of this, guys.
You talking about when you cut the bark off?
No, I take like fig tree cuttings, right? Mm-hmm. And I would cut the pool noodle in little thin strips and then wrap it around the tree limb that I was trying to clone and put it down inside the little sprayer doodad, and it went just ape fucking shit. I cloned so many fig trees, and apple trees and pomegranate trees and all sorts of shit.
I thought you were talking about when you take the branches and you cut the bark off and then you wrap them.
Oh, that's grafting.
The roots. Yeah, the grafting, where the roots come out of the branch and you cut it in half. You've got roots actually on the bottom.
That brings back memories, man. My dad was big into grafting. He had this one tree in the backyard. It had 4 different kinds of pears and 3 different kinds of apples on one tree.
Oh, nice!
Wow. So I just threw up pictures in the FAFO quote general chat about the Aero cloner and how I did it. So I take these cuttings from these fig trees, and if you see in the first picture, the part of it looks wet. What that is actually just quickly dipped in food grade wax, and that's to keep it from the top part from rotting before it gets a chance to fruit. And then I would then take it and soak it.
The shiitakes.
Yeah, I'd soak it in a little bit of water with some hydrogen peroxide and stuff like that. You see that in the second picture. Third picture is my little fucking pool noodle cuts, and then how I wrapped them. And the fourth picture is them starting to grow like a motherfucker. And so I cloned, I had this amazing fig tree. Oh, excuse me. I had this amazing fig trees that were just absolutely huge. And I don't know where the fuck they came from. I had drunkenly bought them online a long time ago, and I totally forgot to label them. And, but they were huge. And they put out these figs, they look like a black mission fig, but they were brown. So they were huge, like the size of like a small crab apple, like a medium-sized crab apple, right? Like big fucking things, like a little bit smaller than a Roma tomato, and just great. And so everybody wanted a fucking fig tree, and so I would clone this. It only did 36 at a time, I guess, but I do runs all year, just 36 fucking fig trees, and sell them bare root online for $20 a pop with free shipping. And I would just take them when I went to go ship them, and I would just take a whole bunch. I had a shredder where just like a regular office paper shredder, and I'd run the free newspapers through that fucking thing. And so I just end up with just all this shredded newspaper, and then I would get it wet, and then I would just mix it up with my hand a little bit and then dry it so it's like paper mache. And I would take that and wrap it around the root ball, and then I'd fucking just put it in a flat rate shipper and ship it. And man, $20 a pop for this fucking fig trees all day long. At 36 at a fucking go, I was making all my beer money. like every week, just like
making his yearly beer money.
Yeah, man, I was making all my beer money, my car payment, shit like that, just off of selling just fig clones, just bam, 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 bam. And all I did was sell them online. You guys, anybody can fucking do this. Like, you don't have to have a farm. That, if you look, it doesn't, I did a horrible job of taking a picture to show the footprint of this thing. But the footprint of it is like maybe 3 Kleenex boxes. Like, it's really not that big. It's really not that big. Like 2 Kleenex boxes next to each other, then one on the side, right? So it's like, you know, like that. So I guess that would. What's our standard of measurement? We need a fucking standard of measurement.
A cup?
A banana.
No, fuck that. We can't have a cup. This is FAFO.
A shot glass?
A mason jar?
A shot?
No, that's a volume. Those are volumetric measurements.
Oh, you want length measurements?
Yeah, we need a length measurement.
Baby's arms? I don't know.
Toddler arms. Yeah, no, nobody's gonna fucking be able to. They're gonna have to go like, watch some guy out there or some chick out there who's listening to the podcast is not gonna have like a toddler allowed. So they're gonna go like grab some stranger's toddler and throw a ruler up against it, and they're gonna be like, "What are you doing? I have a podcast. I just need to know." But let's see.
No, a buddy of mine years ago, he's like, "Hey, you got to come try out this Mexican restaurant, man. They got fucking burritos the size of a baby's arm." It just, man, it made me laugh when he said that.
Okay, taco shells. What do taco shells? Everybody knows what a fucking taco shell is, right? Like, roughly?
Yeah. I guess.
It was very.
Those come in so many different sizes, though.
Okay, then fuck it. We need something else. What
Links, huh?
Yeah.
Staplers.
Yeah, staplers? Did you say staplers?
Have you seen my stapler?
Yeah, red, the size of a red stapler. Perfect.
Burn this week down.
I guess we could do like can of standard 16-ounce beer, like measurement on the side. You know.
How about a fucking Lysol can?
Pounders. Huh?
We all know what a Lysol can looks like. They only one fucking size.
Do they come? No, they don't. They come in the 20-ounce, extra 20% free size too.
Yeah, I get like the 30-some ounce industrial ones. Not that I use Lysol. It's bad.
How about the length of a Sharpie? There's only one size Sharpie, right?
There's the fatty.
God damn it!
Yeah.
Wait, we're not measuring the.
How big is Ron Jeremy's penis? Let's see this.
I don't know.
Let me check my phone. Hold on.
I'm googling this. We're just gonna call it Ron.
Oh no, who's that one guy that died and they made a movie about him?
He had
John Holmes.
It was 9 3/4 inches.
No.
No way.
I'm not bigger than Ron Jeremy.
So it's like basically 10 inches. Okay, so let's just call it 10 inches. We can just call it Ron Jeremy units, and we can just measure everything in Ron Jeremy units. RGUs. Yeah, there we go. We have adopted a new measurement system, RJUs.
The FAFO unit measurement length, RJU. Yep.
Yes.
It's like the BTUs, but cooler.
Yeah. Well, more easy. Fuck, man. This shit right here. Like, this could have been like taught. They could have used up until this moment. They could have used it in college classes.
Yeah, then, new math.
Yeah. Up until this moment, we could have been safe to play.
That was 30 minutes. That was 30 minutes before someone brought up the word cock or balls or
ball gags.
Yeah. And then now we've adopted a new measurement system of RJUs. And so anyway, I guess the whole system is like 2.5 RJUs by 2.5 RJUs.
Thank God you remember what we're measuring. I totally forgot.
But I want to thank you for every time you say something, you may even think of a cock to think how big something is. It's perfect. It's a brilliant. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I woke up this morning. I go, what could really fuck up the rest of my day?
Oh my god, guys! I haven't laughed this hard in a long time. I'm turning fucking purple over here. Okay.
So a shade of RJU.
We can't use it. We can't use it
after a long weekend.
It's too late.
We can't.
Seeing shades of RJU.
It sounds like a romance song. Shades of RJU.
So, anyway, that
you say something? Yeah.
There's your Aeroponics. There's your Aeroponics cloner. So,
I thought of another one that you didn't mention, or that I vote is easier than Kratky if you have the proper setup.
Okay.
Is it more expensive to start?
Well, you have to have the right conditions for this one.
Okay.
Floating raft.
Oh yes, for lettuce. I've used that before.
Culture.
Yeah, I've used that.
Deep water culture. Yeah. The floating raft deep water culture. I've seen them do those ones as hybrid systems where they raise into tilapia, and they have the floating rafts of like what is it, like styrofoam?
Lettuce usually. Yeah,
I've even seen them just build rafts and tie them off on an actual pond and just let the pond feed the plants.
Hey, wasn't that how the fucking Aztecs grew so much goddamn shit in their floating fucking ponds?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Styrofoam beanies. Yeah.
No. They had the floating ponds.
It naturally lowers the nitrite levels in the ponds and everything. It's a win-win all year long.
But there was a study done a long time ago because they were talking about the gardening techniques of the Aztecs and how they were able to support. Sorry, I'm talking really fast. I'm excited. They support this huge fucking group of people in such a concentrated area. And they were like, look, they had these floating gardens, and they would talk about these floating gardens all the time. What they were is they were densely woven mats of like wood, and they'd have a little bit of soil in pockets, and they'd plant the plant on the little bit of soil. The roots would reach through the floating mat into the water that was underneath. And they raised their fish in there with them, and who knows, probably shit and piss in there. And the plants just purified the freaking water, and it kept them from receiving a lot of different like Giardia, from getting a whole bunch of normal diseases that everybody would die from. It was really, really great. It kept their mosquito population fucking down because they had all these damn fish. And that was how they were able to feed so many people, because they would have hundreds of these floating rafts on these lakes.
They weren't sacrificing to the gods.
They weren't sacrificing their own damn people. They're just slaves.
Or
they're just slaves. Fuck them.
Yeah.
And the winners of the soccer team.
Well, they were using.
How is that motivation to win? By the way, if you win, you die.
Exactly.
Was it the winners, or was it really the winners, or was it the losers?
That's just.
No, I think it was the winners.
Fuck that shit! I'm not playing like shit. It's like I'm over there just like humping the fucking ball.
Yeah. It was an honor, though. There was a time it was an honor to be killed.
Oops, Butterfingers.
Well, I'm sorry. That goes against every one of my natural instincts. I'm here to procreate. Yeah. No, you're not going to murder me because I'm better at something than you.
Yeah, no. Well, isn't that basically what they do now?
No. You guys go. I'll stay here with the monkeys.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm the guy who knows how to make the floating mat. I'm good. I'm safe. Yeah. But yeah, no, that was really cool.
Hence why we keep telling you to make sure you have skills. Football is not a fucking skills, gentlemen.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the gladiator.
It's not going to, okay, let's see. Most useless job in a zombie apocalypse.
A place kicker on the Buffalo Bills.
A fluffer.
Anybody no, that's a useful job.
Anybody that's anywhere.
Yeah, anybody that's in HR is pretty much out the window, because like the rules are going to be completely different. Like, Susie, you think you're offended? You're not that offended, Susie. Because if you're that offended, here's the dueling guns.
Right?
All right?
That's right.
How fucking offended are you, Susan? You want to duel? You want to duel Karen? Fucking get after it. Right? So HR goes back
duels. Give me a duel.
Oh, yeah. You think you're offended? Bring forth the dueling guns. Yeah.
Best friends forced to do battle.
You guys.
Uh-oh.
That was Michael Nutty. He fucking nutted out. So it would be
nutty.
You'd have to it would be like 27 Ron Jeremy units apart and then turn around and fire.
Oh, Jesus. I'm stupid.
You're going to take 27 common Ron Jeremy units, then turn on fire.
I would take 22. That's just me, though.
Somebody's going to be there. Somebody's going to be there with an official measuring Ron Jeremy stick.
Right? Yeah. That's what we need the fluffer for. See?
Yeah,
my RJUs are a little smaller, so I get to take less steps.
No, it's a fucking RJU.
It's a common unit of measurement.
Oh,
we made it a real thing.
There's no cold days.
Yeah.
It was really cold in that pool.
No. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah. No, that was perfect. That's where it was meant to go. I don't know what to say.
So, deep water culture is literally just floating mats inside. You can do all sorts of different stuff with that. That's where you're going to get into where you're growing your crawfish, your fish with them. And this is deep water culture is going to probably be the simplest, easiest fish introduction to aquaponics. So it's just, I've seen, there's a couple of very large farms actually that do these huge troughs. They're like 36 inches tall and like 12 feet fucking wide. And they're just full of water, and the water flows from, right to left to a pump system. It's a very, very gentle flow. And it has these huge mats of high density foam. And every about 16, hold on one second, 1.5 Ron Jeremy units, there's a hole popped, and they're putting a little net cup in there, and they're planting their leafy greens. And you're not going to want to do anything that requires a long growing season in a deep water culture. Well, that's usually reserved for stuff that has a high turnover rate. Like your lettuces, one of the most popular things I've seen grown is basil, like the Genovese basil, for pesto and stuff like that, because it's super, super easy to grow, super fast, and you get your plants about 18 inches tall, knock them out, go to the next thing. Lettuces do extraordinarily well, all different types, full heads of lettuce and everything like that, because it's a very fast turnover, very hungry plant. That it does absolutely phenomenal with a shitload of water that's cooler water. And so they'll have these troughs, and in these troughs they'll have their baby tilapia, right, that are growing inside of this trough. And now they feed the tilapia in the trough, usually spirulina, stuff like that. Yeah, it's like that algae. They feed them these algae pellets. And they poop and everything like that, and that's what's feeding the plants. And so because the flow is very, very slow, at the very end, they have this 36 or so foot thing. They'll be taking one set of plants out. Each one's about the size of it looks like about the size of a door, maybe 4 feet or 3 feet wide and 6 feet long, like slabs. And so 2 people will pick the slab up and they'll put it on a cart. They'll harvest everything, chop off the roots, throw them away. It'll go down the assembly line from there. Well, the flow of the water now just brings the next one in to line. Does that make sense? And so now they're usually not planting the entire bed at once, but they plant 3 rows at once. If you're looking at it from the greenhouse, if you're standing looking at the greenhouse, the front of the greenhouse, or the side of the greenhouse, your rows are going to be facing away from you. So, trough 1 has 3 rows up of it that are all planted at the same time. Trough 2 has 3 rows up of it that are all planted at the same time. So after that's done, they pull out that big foam board. They sterilize it, usually with hydrogen peroxide, and then they take it back to the back where it's reseeded and planted. So then a week goes by, it moves. It's every week they're harvesting, and by the time the 4 weeks is up, they're back to harvesting that one that they just harvested. And it works super, super well, super, super fast. There's almost no waste at all. And every 8 to 10 weeks, you have a harvest of tilapia. So it works out really well.
They're huge. I mean, I've seen some of these ones where they actually have some tanks where they do the floaters in the tank of tilapia, and they have one that are just fucking like huge ponds that are elevated above, so that they actually is constant flow, but it's like they use gravity, but it's a huge regular fucking pond. God damn it, Mike, go nutty.
No, that was John.
That was John.
Yeah, he dropped out.
That son of a bitch.
But
I apologize, Nutty. I apologize.
The most popular
fucking trim.
The most popular tilapia aren't your wild type tilapia. You don't really want your wild type tilapia in these systems because
they're not going to grow. They're not going to grow like that.
No, they grow really well, but the problem is that they snack on your plants.
Everything.
Yeah. So a lot of the times the ones that you're looking for are the hybrid Nile tilapia. So these are like the blue Nile, your white Nile, your pink Nile, and they're almost all exclusively male because they irradiate them when they're in egg form, and only the male eggs actually will produce at that point. Oh. So they're like 99.99% male. And you're looking at spending between 17 and 22 cents per little baby fingerling for these systems. You could buy females and try to breed them yourself. They're a mouth brooder, and they're a pain in the fucking ass. It's just going to be a lot cheaper and easier for you to just buy. Like, it's going to be the least sustainable part of your whole system is just having to buy your tilapia every fucking year. But it's to breed them is a pain in the ass. Not even worth it. But to order them, they come in the next day in the freaking mail. I think it's bluetilapia.com is the last place that I ordered them from. And I ordered
a fucking huge bag. They look like fucking guppies.
Yeah. Yeah, they come in a huge bag that's like inflated with oxygen and a little neat styrofoam container that makes a great little throw on the back of your Kubota or the back of your truck beer container. Or ship to your friends' fucking insulated box. But they come in this big ass insulated box overnight, super easy. I hadn't had a single one of them fucking die. The last time I ordered tilapia, I ordered like 100 tilapia. I paid like $28 fucking for the tilapia, like $18 for the damn shipping, and they sent 125 tilapia just to make sure that if any of them died in transport, that I had extra. Right. And it was super, super easy, super, super fast. They came about the same, about like 1/32 of a Ron Jeremy unit, right? So they came. So they came about like a quarter of an inch or so, a quarter of an inch to like a third of an inch, half inch, like some of the larger ones, and they all grew at about the same rate, and they were all harvestable about the same time. And I ended up with like 1.5 pounds of fillets, 2 pounds of fillets per tilapia. And now we're going to get into our aquaponics system.
These are my favorites. My favorites.
Aquaponics, I fucking love it because there's like zero goddamn input besides fish food. And even then, you can grow your fish food.
Off the fucking plants. You can grow them off the fucking plants, too.
You could grow duckweed. I grew duckweed. I went to HEB. Everybody in Texas knows what fucking HEB is. If you don't, you're a goddamn communist. So HEB is this big grocery store that's kind of like has everything, and but they have like super high quality shit. But like if Albertsons actually liked its customers, and had like really good
Whole
stuff.
Foods or something.
Yeah, kind of like Whole Foods, but more Texan. Everything's Texas branded.
Everything's really bigger.
Cool. Yeah, in America, and super fresh. So, like in the fall, like in the summer, they would get like those little 12-foot self-molded pools, right? Like the little plastic pools, like the kiddie pools. And then come like late August, they just clear them out for like fucking $4 or $5 a piece. Like half the time, if you're like willing to take all of them, they'll just let you have them. So I went and I got like fucking 16 of the goddamn things. I was like, hey, you like $5 a pop? Yeah. Okay, well, how much for all of them? You'll take all of them? Yep. We'll just write off. And so I got all of them, which turned out to be like 500% more than I needed. I went and I bought. I could have gone to the local duck pond and just like used a net and just gotten some duckweed, but that's not that duckweed would have probably been fine. But I bought a starter culture of duckweed.
They grow so fucking fast, don't matter.
Yeah, but I bought a starter culture of duckweed that was like a domesticated version of duckweed that grew super big. It was like a large diameter duckweed, larger duckweed that grew super big, super freaking fast. It was from the University of Texas. I think I paid $6 for the damn thing with free shipping, and it came in a little like pill bottle like type thing, just completely packed full of plants, and like they were kind of wet. And I just took the pill bottle and I just emptied it into the fucking pond, like a full thing, and that produced so much duckweed. Like, because duckweed doubles every 19 hours
or
20 hours,
48 hours, but maybe not.
No, this shit fucking's like I started with maybe an ounce and a half of duckweed, and then by Saturday the entire top was fucking covered. The plants were starting to push each other out, and I was like, damn. So I just took literally a handful of this shit and threw it in the next pond and threw it in the next pond and threw it in the next pond. And the only thing I did with those ponds is I took maybe 3 scoops of the off-brand, what do you call it? Miracle Grow, like the cheap, Walmart brand fucking Miracle Grow. Threw it in each pond, stirred it up just to give it something, in that pond, and then threw that duckweed in there. Bam, motherfucker! So much duckweed that I had so much of it just off of I should have only grown 3 ponds to feed an entire system. You could have probably fed a small swimming pool's worth of fucking tilapia off of 3 ponds. Because if you take, let's say you harvest half of the pond and you get 22 pounds of freaking duckweed, in 24 hours that's back, right? 100% back. So it's very, very exponential in growth. Once it gets above about 50% coverage, it's hard to keep up with. But it's really great because the stuff that I was growing was I think 20% fucking dried protein. It had all sorts of really, really great vitamins, minerals, oils, and everything. It was a complete food for the tilapia. And I just dump it in the tilapia thing. I had so much of it. I fed it to the pigs. I fed it to the fucking goats.
I was gonna say that food is good for everything. The chicken.
Oh man, the chicken eggs were just really rich that ate it. I'm gonna grow it again for the new farm because it's the dumbest, easiest fucking thing you could possibly grow. And 2, it's so fast. The only input is a little bit of nitrogen here or there, which you can just get when you exchange the water out, right? If the water level gets low from evaporation or whatever, which is kind of difficult because it has a good plant layer on top of it, just take some of your fish water and dump it in there. It's plenty of nitrogen. The fucking plants go crazy. And you just feed it that by the shovelful to your fish. The fish eat it. They poop out shit. Shit goes back to duckweed, rock and roll. When we did our big aquaponics, as I did it in PVC pipes, and I would probably do it slightly different this next time, is that I had these 12-foot section of 4-inch PVC pipe. And what I did is I ran one single pipe back from the pond, which the pond was a 275-gallon IBC tote. And I ran one pond pump from there all the way to the back across the manifold across the back of 14 of these 12-foot pipes. And the pipes would all just dump freely back into into one pipe, which would just dump back into the IBC tote.
Nice.
And it would just run constantly. So it was because I don't want to figure out fucking timers. Don't bother me with that shit. Don't bother me with any of the other shit. I just drilled 1/4-inch hole in each one of the fucking pipes, screwed in a fucking nipple. It just sprayed out into that damn pipe, and we're done. Right? It was one of the clog-proof, just the ones you use for spraying water in your house, your garden. It was just a clog-proof spray nipple is what it was. And I just had it in there and it just sprayed. It was just a 1/4 inch hole that went and hit like a little cone shaped thing and just kind of spread the water out inside the pipe. The water hit the inside of the pipe, becomes super oxygenated from that, then flow down the middle of the pipe and back into the container. And that did a really, really good job of aerating the poo water, also aerating the water before it got to the roots of the plants, and keeping everything really, really moist and wet inside of there. And I would just drill every about 18 inches. Well, I guess that would be like, 1.8 Ron Jeremy units across the top of across the top of the pot, and then just drop in 1 inch squares of rock wool. I didn't even use fucking net pots. I just dropped in 1 inch squares of rock wool and planted my fucking seeds right inside the top of that. And it worked out great, man. Like, I had no problems with it at all. And we ended up getting quite a bit. Now, what I fucked up on is that I got away from tilapia because it started getting cooler. And tilapia do not do well below, what is it, like 57 degrees?
Yeah.
Something like that, like water temperature. They start going to shit. So instead of that, I was like, you know what? Let's put a fucking load of channel cats in there, like catfish, for the winter. Like I have to do a run of catfish.
That's dirty ass water.
Mess. Not only was it was dirty, the plants did not mind it, but the little bastards, the tilapia were so easy to harvest. I mean, I just scooped them out, right? But the catfish, their spines got tangled up in the nets. They ended up spining us. Like, if we were going to do catfish again, I would just take wire cutters and clip their fucking fins before we even put them in the damn system. Does that make sense? Before we even put them in the fucking system and then drop in like an amoxicillin fucking pill or some shit just to keep them from getting a goddamn infection while their fins heal. But that way they don't grow that big ass fucking spine, because that was a mess. I did one time tilapia I would look at Craigslist and I'd find those above ground pools for cheap.
Right.
You know, like,
well, just come pick it up. You can have it.
Yeah, like on Craigslist, somebody buy like a 10 or 12 foot fucking above ground pool, and they don't want it anymore because they don't want to put it away for the fucking winter. They're like, come pick it up, you can have it. Fuck yeah. And you can usually get them to throw in the pump and everything for fucking free, right?
Right.
Great. Fantastic. Take the sand out of that damn pump and fill it with Hydrotron or something else. So it gives like some nitrifying bacteria a place to live. But you don't need if you're going to try to
same thing for the aquarium. It's a fucking it's a bioreactor.
Exactly. Bioreactors, all you want. But yeah, so I had the tilapia do great in those setups. Absolutely fantastic. You could run a commercial operation off a 10-foot fucking pool. Great. Tilapia are not that retarded. They're not going to jump the fuck out. Catfish are not that retarded. They're not going to jump the fuck out. But what catfish will do is argue, fight, bitch, chase each other, and poke fucking holes in the side of that goddamn thing with their fins.
Fucking bastards. I hate catfish.
Yeah.
Fucking son. They sure taste good though.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
So if your catfish will they'll swim, they swim in a circle inside there in the bottom, but they'll once they get to a certain size, or you miss a feeding, or they just decide that Steve over there looks really fucking tasty and want to chew on him. And so they start chasing each other to fuck around in that thing and throwing a fit, and then squirm and hit the side. They'll make little pinprick fucking holes. So you'll go out there, they're 8, 9, 10 weeks old at this point. You go the fuck out there. So that, they're like pound a piece or so. And now you've got hundreds of little pinprick fucking holes, each one shooting out tiny, atom-sized stream of water into the fucking grass. And you're like, you sons of bitches. But, yeah, catfish, not cool. Tilapia, 100% recommend. If you're going to do catfish, I would probably use a rubber liner, and I'd put it inside the pool. Does that make sense? One of those rubber pond liners?
Yeah, a lot of people up north will use a walleye instead for the cold. But
oh, fuck, I didn't think about that. God, I wish I could do trout here. Oh, trout do so well in aquaponics, but it's too fucking hot here, man. You guys could do fucking trout. You guys up there? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I do. I've had ponds with tons of trout in that motherfucker.
The one fucking thing One fucking thing I'm jealous of you fuckers is being able to do your trout and do it in aquaponics, and also just trout fishing in general. We only got 2 places here in where I'm at. The Guadalupe River is a naturally cold river that comes from real deep. And it's got trout in it year round, but that's the only fucking place besides one other private place to go fucking fish for trout. Is being able to do your trout. I would do if I was you guys up there north. I'd be doing big fucking above ground pools full of motherfucking trout, and I would do 3 or 4 of the goddamn things, and I would sell that shit at a premium. Right before you're gonna sell your damn trout, feed them a flaxseed infused meal, and that's gonna give them that real dark red color.
Ooh,
real dark orange.
Fancy.
Color. Yeah. So they don't look like farm raised trout. The white,
right?
They'll look orangish red. Yeah, that's aquaponics. Everybody, aquaponics is just growing fucking plants with fish poop. It's really, really simple. It has the same shit as all the other
It's 3 hobbies all put together.
It's I have random aquaponics shit going in my front room. I have pothos plants and all sorts of shit growing out of my shrimp tank just to absorb extra nitrogen.
Nice.
Yeah, so like they're huge. They grow all the way across the window and shit like that. The shrimp eat whatever grows on the freaking roots. They're happy as hell. Like everybody's
in your
happy.
shrimp tank, are you using the big walls of fucking foam?
No, not at all. I use like dragon stone and a bunch of like some. I have a couple of pieces of like dried out coral that I found, because we live not very far from the ocean, so we go down there and drive down the beach, and I found a chunk of fucking coral about the size of my head, and then I just split it and then put it in there, and they get all their calcium and it grows really great algae, and so they eat all that shit all the time. But I haven't had any calcium or mineral issues since I put a chunk of freaking calcium, like the actual dead coral in there.
Well, let me ask you this. Can you say someone had their scuba equipment? They're a rescue diver. They live by you. Can you go in that ocean by you and get shit to have an awesome reef tank?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, you can. If you're going to be close, you'll get a lot of weird little gobies. You'll get a lot of really cool...
gobies are awesome.
Yeah.
They're like little fucking sentinels.
A whole fuckload of weird little gobies, a bunch of really cool crustaceans. Like there's a lot of really cool stuff around here. If you wanted to go down to Big Shell, like down the coast, then you could go off the coast, and then it's you could just take the kayak out and be at a world-class reef, like just not very far off the coast. It'd be like the Texas Gardens. The Gardens is what they call it. It's really beautiful. It's a world-class reef that's equal to what you'd find in Australia. It's just absolutely beautiful. Old growth reef. Really, really pretty. Okay. That one's really protected, so you're not going to be able to go over there and just grab random fish. But we find all sorts of crazy, beautiful shit, like just throwing the cast net. So yeah,
you find all kinds of weird shit here, like syringes, condoms.
Yeah, but no, we find a lot of really cool stuff. There's a lot of really cool, like super colorful, small little crabs and different types of snails. Like all the different types of snails. There's one that uses like wind. It puts up this little like foot, like a sail, and just like across the wet sand. It just uses it like a little sail, and it hunts other snails. So it's a murdery snail.
Nice.
But, it's pretty cool, man. Yeah, you could go off if you wanted to. You could do a really neat Texas coast aquarium. It's beautiful.
Awesome.
There's a lot of really pretty stuff. As far as I know, there's no saltwater aquaponics.
No, it can't be. The salt kills anything in your roots, and it would be nutrient binding unless you went brackish, maybe, and you would have to have a buffer system, like a sump that's basically made to buffer out.
I wonder if you could do like a brackish coconut.
It would have to be coconut or what's the other plant? The one that's always on what is it? The one that's always along where the crocodiles and shit are.
Death plant?
With the wheat, with the big net root systems that are in the fucking water.
Mangroves.
That's what they are. I was gonna annoy the fuck out of me.
Yeah, mangroves will have a salt filtering system built into their roots. They use osmotic pressure to filter the salt out. So you'll actually see them if you look closely. If you have them in a still water environment, you'll see a layer of hypersaline liquid right along the side of the roots if you shine a flashlight on them. Like if you have them like an aquarium and you don't have any water movement at all, and you shine the light in there, you'll see like a little wavy line that sits like a 16 inch off the roots, and that's hypersaline, like super salty water, because they're using their osmotic pressure to filter out the salt, and they're just discarding the salt back into the water. It's pretty neat.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really fucking awesome. Science, bitches. But
science.
Yeah, if you were going to
blinded me with science.
So let me describe my personal hydroponic system, and that was what I first sent all those damn pictures to the chat with, and how I do my personal hydroponic system. I didn't mean to like totally like hijack the shit out of this fucking chat. I feel like
Dude, this is probably the most excited you've been in any of the fucking shows since Ziri. You're fucking AI Louver.
That was
a really good chat so far. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. So how I do mine is I took a little bit of stuff that I learned from MHP Gardener. I took his Dutch bucket system. I took a little bit of deep water culture. I took the standard tomato growing recirculating system, and I kind of combined them all. So what I do is right at the
Are you FAFOing?
What?
Well, I did. I FAFO'd the fuck out of this thing and came up with it. So right at the P, like at Home Depot on the bucket, I drilled out the fucking center of the P. So we're a little bit over halfway up the side of the bucket. But I put my grommet and I put a 1/2 inch PVC through the side of the bucket. And then I just put I used to not have anything on the end of it, but then I found that the roots of the fucking tomato plants would grow down the damn pipe and clog it up. So what I ended up doing then was just taking a 90-degree and putting it on it and facing it down so that the roots would have to grow all the way down, then back up, right? And roots don't grow up. So it ended all of my clogging issues. So I take that, put it there, then I have this, they come out about 6 inches, put another 90 on it, have it go straight down from the bucket into a piece of 3-inch PVC that then was just at that had just a piece of strap on one side with the cap on it, just holding it up to where, and then a piece of strap on the other side that kept it just maybe like a 3 or 4 inch difference between the 10 feet of one side to the other, right? So just a little bit of a slant, and then a 90 going right back into a 27-gallon, the black yellow top tote, right?
Right.
Then I just roughly cut a hole in the fucking top. So I'd fill that tote up, and then I plumbed it with a piece of I got a shitty pond pump. I think I bought it at Harbor Freight. It was just rated for like 270 or 220 gallons a fucking hour and 1 foot head lift. But at like the maybe 5 feet I was taking it was only like 100 gallons an hour or some shit. And so I took a 1/2 inch piece of PVC, like the flexible PVC, like tubing, right? And I bought it at Home Depot as well. It was used for like, I think, RV water supply, or there's no pressure tubing, right? And so I just slipped it over the top of that, ran it up, put it into a nipple on the backside of a 1/2 inch piece of PVC, ran the top of that piece of PVC across the top of the buckets, then drilled 1/8 inch holes, 2 per bucket, so that they would spray down into the bucket, aimed them into the bucket, the top of the bucket. And then I had gone and I had won an auction for a whole bunch of hydroponic supplies, and it was stupid fucking cheap. Like nobody bid on it. I don't know why, But so I paid like $25 fucking for like 108 of these 5-gallon bucket like toppers, right? That have like a 4-inch or like a 4.5-inch net cup in them, and then a whole bunch of random pieces and parts and supplies and a couple bags of Hydrotron. So I would take that and then sort of spraying down into the net bucket. The idea behind this is once the net bucket got full of water, so to fill the system, I initially filled all of the buckets with a garden hose until the buckets got to the point where they started overflowing. And once they were done, I put my nutrient solution mix, which I started off using Master Blend, and then I put in a little bit of Epsom salt and some calcium into that tote bucket, that big tote down at the bottom. The reason is because there was not enough fluid or water volume in that 27-gallon tote to fill up all 10 of the buckets that I was using. Because each bucket had like maybe a 2-gallon reservoir that does not get exchanged. Well, it gets exchanged, but doesn't ever leave the bucket. Yeah, it doesn't ever leave the bucket. The purpose of having that dead space of like that 2 gallons of water in the bottom is that we get sometimes power outages from storms, shit like that. And if my plant,
everything.
Yeah, I never lose everything because the roots are growing down into that water and using it kind of like a Kratky system or anything else. But the water's also washing over the roots constantly and aerating that fluid that's in the bottom of that 2 gallons that's in the bottom, and also exchanging it out constantly. So we don't end up with any nutrient concentration inside of the bottom of that 5-gallon bucket as well. And this system worked really, really well for me. I did not start my plants from seeds. I cheated like a motherfucker. I went to Home Depot. I bought tomatoes and pepper plants that were just there on sale. And I took them home, and I just took them out of the little container, dropped them, the whole fucking thing in a 5-gallon bucket of water. Then took the sprayer and just sprayed in the 5-gallon bucket of water like crazy until all the freaking dirt came off the roots, rinsed them a bunch of times. And if you can see in the pictures there, you see that perfect little square ball of roots. That's what that was. It was just me rinsing all the freaking dirt off of them in a 5-gallon bucket. And then I took that, dropped the plant in, put Hydrotron around it, and it was done. And that's how I just transplanted from dirt into my system. And that was it, man. That was 100% it. The plants, it took them maybe 24 hours to adapt. They were like, holy shit, we're wet all the time, and we have nutrients? Yes. Happiness and sunshine. We've got oxygen and everything else. And those plants made me those 10 buckets, so much fucking food. Those jalapenos I had, and they were just, I think it was the brand was Tam jalapeno, the Texas A&M jalapeno that you find everywhere. It's like the most common fucking variety of jalapeno now. Those were Tam jalapenos. That they were just cheap, $1.47 a fucking piece at Home Depot. And then I had some Roma tomatoes, some beefsteak, and stuff like that. My tomato pit, I'll have to find a picture. My tomato plants, I made the mistake of using indeterminate aroma tomato plants. I will never do that again. My tomato plants got so long that even I put 12-foot posts in the ground and then ran rope between them to make like a lattice for everything to grow up. Within 2 weeks, they were way up over the top of that. And then I ended up waiting until they had grown up over the top onto the ground and then halfway to the fucking house. And then I just took like a piece of like shoelace type material and a sock full of fucking sand and took the tomato and threw the sock full of sand on the fucking roof. And so the goddamn tomatoes were just literally growing up on the roof of the house. And the sock full of sand just acted like an anchor up there to keep them from blowing off. And to harvest tomatoes, like, it got me over there, like throwing up my ladder up against the fucking side of the roof and, just harvested fucking tomatoes off my damn roof. That worked. Would I do it again? No. I would use determinate variety tomatoes in the future. Indeterminate variety in a hydroponics or an aquaponics system is a fucking nightmare, and you don't want to do that. It's just not worth it. They grow so fast, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, indeterminate. They constantly make fruit all season long." Okay, yeah, that's great. That's fine. But now you have 14 or 15 feet of fucking plant that doesn't flower anymore because it's only flowering off the new fucking growth, and the new growth is 36 fucking feet up on your roof, right?
Yep.
So, yeah, you're gonna
Trim
low
that
crawl
shit.
up there. Yeah. So, just use your determinate variety. They grow so fast in a hydroponic system that if your determinate grows up, gets 6 to 8 feet tall, shits out a fucking shitload of freaking like flowers, makes just one big push of fruit, makes a ton of fruit, yank that bitch out and throw something else in there. You can even in a moderate climate, you can cycle through 2 or 3 sets of plants in a hydroponic system because it grows so fast, at least 3 times faster than they do in the ground. But yeah, we got peppers. So many. That's the only way to grow peppers, I believe, from now on. Especially like unless you're trying to grow super hots to break a record. But if you just want to,
cantaloupes love hydroponics too.
I have not done cantaloupes. I did a squash, and the problem was I should have like bolted the bucket down, right? Because the squash got so fucking big that it ended up like just tipping the whole thing over. The bucket needs to be like strapped down or something if you're gonna do bucket hydroponics because they put on so much weight.
Yeah, I built a big trellis for my cantaloupes, and then I hung them up with what do you call them? Things that women wear, pantyhose.
Nylons.
Put them inside. Yeah.
That's fucking cool. Talk to us about that system. That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, I just built a wired trellis for my cantaloupes to ride up on right next to my NFT system, my outdoor one. And then as the cantaloupes grew, I just set them inside of a piece of pantyhose and tied it to the trellis, and they just grew right inside the pantyhose. It gave them all the support they needed. Cucumbers work awesome vertically in them too. You can pick them like apples. There's no yellow side to them.
I've never heard of that before. That's crazy.
Fucking cool.
I love
it. Damn it!
I love it when I learn something new.
Damn it! Now I want to. Now I'm sitting here thinking it'd be really cool to get like a piece of cattle panel and like bend it in a U shape, and then just on either side of it do like hydroponic cucumbers on either side of it, and just have like the kid could play in it. It'd be a shady area, and then just reach in there and just get all the cucumbers, not having to get fucking bit by snakes and shit.
Right? Yeah, and they're beautiful cucumbers because they hang vertical.
What's your favorite cucumber?
I like a straight 8, but I haven't met a cucumber I don't like yet, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm not a really big cucumber guy. I like them, but
I've done the straight 8s and a whole bunch of different types, and then the Amish pickling. The ones that I like, that's the most cucumbery cucumber in the entire fucking world. And I haven't been able to find the seeds again this year, but I think it was called Matiki Painted Serpent Melon.
I've never heard of that one.
Well, it's like an Armenian style cucumber. Have you seen those guys? The real long, like melon type cucumbers?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's striped like gray and green and like tan. And they get fucking massive. Like stupid huge. I have not found any. I grew a bunch of them and I've got some seeds left over. But I have not found any for a very long time. And which is kind of sad because they were the most cucumbery tasting fucking cucumber. I don't know if cucumbery tasting cucumber.
You mean water? You mean water? Or,
No, they were super intense. I have to see if on my private Instagram here for my farm, if I have them on there. Let's see. I know I do. I'll throw a picture up here in just half a second. But oh man, I can't find them anymore. They got them from Rare Seeds or the Baker's Creek, and they would go from being this little tiny cute cucumber to being like 36 inches long in like 48 hours, and they were just so cucumbery. I don't know if that cucumbery, makes sense, but they just tasted like very fucking
like fresh, clean. I guess I don't know. It's always just like a water with a pop to it. I guess I don't know.
Well, you're eating shit cucumbers then.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't grow them, so
yeah.
You guys got me on that one.
The bane of my existence up north is freaking watermelons, though. Oh, they're so hard to grow up here.
Really? Not here.
Our season is so short here.
Your season ain't much shorter than mine, buddy. They're fucking fine here.
I'm zone 3. What are you?
Zone 3.
Oh.
Really?
Yep.
There's a bunch of other stuff to grow besides
zone
watermelons. I mean, there's a bunch of really neat melons to grow besides melons.
I mean, I can get watermelons, but like the best one I've ever gotten was like just a little bit bigger than a softball.
They're definitely not big around here. They're definitely not big fucking watermelons.
Hold on, I gotta do a screenshot of this shit and then fucking get rid of all of my identifiers.
I guess I just need to start them indoors more.
We had to do that with most shit if we want to get decent size.
Yeah, I mean, watermelon's gonna have to be like celery, where you plant it a year in advance, damn near.
There's some of those bastards.
Ooh, excuse me.
And then here's how I make pickles out of them. Is I would take them and shred them and put them in an entire fucking tote.
Okay.
But they were they're like the most pickly.
What is that?
I told you exactly what it is.
I know what it is. I'm just saying that doesn't look like a cucumber to me at all.
It's a fucking melon. It's a cucumber melon.
Isn't that what I just fucking said?
I don't know what you just.
It was my awestruck. What the fuck is that? That confused you, or
like holy fuck? That's
it's like holy fuck.
Packing a big one there.
That's a Ron Jeremy if ever I saw one.
Yeah, it's several Ron Jeremys of size. Yeah. This is what the flowers look like, and it's just gonna blow your fucking mind. The flowers don't look like anything you've seen before. The flowers, you can smell the damn flowers from like several feet away.
Dude, that is fucking awesome. What the fuck? I want some of these.
These
are the ones you can't find?
I really want to grow tobacco this year too.
I have seeds left over, but I can't find any new ones. Does that make sense? Because
you have seeds, so you need to work on your cloning.
Yeah, they're an heirloom. Yeah, they're an heirloom. But you know how like Baker's Creek doesn't do the same. Oh man, here's like an entire. This is cool. But you know how Baker's Creek doesn't do like all of the same shit every fucking year. Right, like they don't sell the same seeds year to year.
They have different kits every year too. Which is pretty cool.
We're out of rotation for the Batiki Pay and Serpent Melon. Is all it is. Look at this. Here's a bathtub full of fucking jalapenos. But,
holy Jeemus! holy crack, baby Jesus!
Yeah, that was good times, man.
5 pound, 2 ounce, baby Jesus.
Yeah, but yeah. I had so much fun back in the day. Yeah. Man, we grew so much shit. And this next year is going to be pretty much just rebuilding the farm, right?
Right.
And then next year is going to be really getting after it. And we're going to do a lot of hydroponics, a lot of aquaponics.
You mean a lot of fun? You said a lot of fun. That's what I heard.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll be able to make more than enough to share and send to everybody who wants some. But yeah, especially like the seasonings that we make and everything else. Definitely be able to send a lot to everybody. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be very intense, but a lot of fun.
Well, sometimes the best things are intense and fun at the same time.
We'll be able to like, okay, if you were to grow a watermelon up north, there's quite a few. Have you tried Moon and Stars?
Yeah, I've thought about them, or the sugar babies or something like that.
Yeah, you need to grow a smaller watermelon.
Yeah, you know me, I want to grow like the yellow watermelon or something like that, just because it's fucking cool as fuck.
Yeah, you need to grow like a smaller type watermelon.
Yeah,
like a black watermelon, or like that. Or you know what you might be able to get away with is one of my favorite melons in the entire world is a Kajari melon. You'd be able to get away with those guys, but you're gonna have.
Starting this year, I'm gonna have access to a 4 Seasons greenhouse, so I should be able to get at least one watermelon this year if they give me a little space.
Yeah, watermelons in a greenhouse, they get so leggy. They take up so much space.
Yeah, I have to fight for space in this greenhouse because it's a public one.
Oh shit! You need to establish dominancy. Make poo piles.
Poo piles, sit on there and stare at them when they walk in. Yeah. Make eye contact.
Yeah.
Establish dominance.
They love that.
Is so nice. One of those state-of-the-art brand new ones. They just built it. I mean, they're still wiring up all the heaters and water systems and everything.
Oh.
It's unacceptable to stab people now. So basically, you eye stab them.
So if you were to design, let's say, from the just absolute ground up, your most perfect system, describe it to me.
For hydroponics?
Yeah.
Good Lord. That's like asking me which one of my children is my favorite.
You know who it is. You know what
I love them all. I grow them all. I want them all at once.
Well, while you're thinking about this, I got to grab another beer.
Let me think about that. I mean, seriously, though, I truly love all the methods.
If I had the option, honestly, it would be a mixture of the mycology and aquaponics. I would not just do hydroponics.
Right? Yeah. Aquaponics. If
we have enough knowledge, we have enough knowledge to do a hybrid to mix all our hobbies together into one fucking greenhouse.
Right. Yeah, definitely an aquaponics system. If I have, unlimited heat, I'm not worried about winter. That'd be awesome.
That'd keep your dog from opening doors and shit.
Well, where I live, it's frozen, 13 months out of the year. So
yeah, but if you have that in the basement, even where we live, the fucking mass of the water will keep it a certain temperature.
Yeah, in the basement of the house, yeah, you're unlimited, except for space.
Right. But the water alone will heat the rest of the building up as the heat you had it going all the way around there. Who knows? I wonder if there's a way to do aquaponics in the basement and use that as heating for the flooring going through.
I'm sure you could.
Kind of like a swamp air conditioner, but the other way.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much heat the actual aquaponics would emit, though.
Well, no, you're not. I'm not. It's not that much, but you're keeping it at a certain temperature, and you're circulating it.
I think that you'd probably be best to run your piping through a compost pile first.
There you go.
That would warm it.
See?
Yeah. That would warm it, but as far as like using the water is going to be cooled by the thermal mass of the building, not warm it up.
Yeah.
This is great shit.
But yeah, sky's the limit. Yes, aquaponic system would be my number one. If I'm growing leafy greens, I would like deep water culture for them just because it's easy and fast.
Yeah.
Or
very little babysitting.
Yeah. Tomatoes, Dutch buckets for sure. It all depends on what I'm growing, really. Most of my stuff outdoors that I grow here are either vertical towers or NFT with PVC pipes.
The only thing I think we're going to, at the new farm, the only thing I think we're going to do in the ground is going to be like root vegetables, your potatoes, stuff like that.
I want raised beds with self-wicking reservoirs underneath using drain tile piping.
Well, you've seen what we're going to do, right? Mm-hmm. That big enclosed garden area. That's just so that the wife and the kid can go out there and play around and not get chewed on by anything. Except that now the wife's decided, she's like, oh, I really like that idea. Why don't we expand it and make it twice as big? Nice. So now it's 60 by fucking 60. And then we're going to take one portion of it and have like an outdoor seating area with a fireplace and everything. So yeah, you could just go in there and there's no animals. And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, sure, I'll build you a cage, an outdoor cage. It's a wife cage. But
it's the she shed. Never mind.
The wife quarters.
Yeah, it's the wife quarters. But no, I like it because it keeps it'll. I don't have to worry about, I'll put a 1/4 inch hell screen around the bottom, like 3 feet up, and it'll keep tiniest from getting snakes, stuff like that. She can go out there and just maul her garden and play, and
my mother used to throw mothballs all over the yard all the time. Said it kept snakes away.
It does, but it also is like not super good for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not super good for your bees and shit too. And we're big bee people. Like my wife is just fucking foaming at the mouth, wanting to get bees again. I keep telling her, like, don't buy your bee suit yet. Leave it alone. No, wait. Because we just, we closed on the land. Officially got all the rest of the closing paperwork, everything, paid all the closing money and everything on the land today. So, we got our official paperwork. Like, that's ours. And so regardless of what happens, we have the land. And she's like, well, we can go put out some stuff right now. I was like, not yet. Wait.
Yeah, you need to get the land worked.
Yeah, there's a lot that has to happen right in the very near future. She's fixing to get a big work bonus, and we're going to use a work bonus to pay off my truck, and then we're going to turn around and
buy
tractor.
I knew it.
Because
I still think you'd be money ahead if you hired a guy to come use one of those forestry mulchers on it for you for like a day.
Yeah, but okay, I need you to shut up about that because that doesn't involve me buying a tractor. Okay, so
you're missing the whole point, Trim.
You're gonna need the tractor still, but that forestry mulcher would get you so much closer to moving in so much faster.
That's not our problem. Is that they're going to use the forestry mulcher and stuff like that to put down the house and do the road. Okay. Like part of buying the house and everything like that includes the road, the septic, the water, the fucking everything, right? And then a parking area and the house and the concrete pad, the whole 9 yards. So we don't have to do anything else. It's just me clearing the rest of the property and me with a TYM 2515 fucking tractor with the Yamaha engine and wood chipper and
as long as Trim doesn't
yeah, so don't be fucking telling her, oh, just hire somebody. Fuck that shit.
You'd be done in a day.
I already picked out my motherfucking tractor. I'm going to get this son of a bitch. I sold her on the idea is that, like, hey, all these other damn people are going to be moving, like, out of here because it's kind of like a rural development. They're trying to make it a whole bunch of little farmsteads, right?
Hobby farm.
Yep. Yeah, they're trying to make it a hobby farm development. And I'm like, a lot of these people, they're not gonna have tractors. They're not gonna be able to afford tractors. But you know what we'll have? Fucking tractor. We can go and do their garden beds for them, or fix their road for them with the box blade, or all these different little fucking things, little jobs, odd jobs will pay for the damn tractor. Right now, like, I don't mean to go on a tractor fucking rant, but right now the tractor prices are stupid. Like, God, so awesome. I get this badass little fucking, like, a little subcompact tractor. They run, it's a 32 horsepower little fucking tractor that I can pull with my damn truck with the fucking trailer and everything for less than $30,000. That includes, like, the post hole digger, a box blade, a fucking 6-foot tiller, a 6-foot fucking mower. Yeah, 6-foot fucking, well, the mower, it's not a finish mower, it's a brush hog. Like the loader on the fucking front, the whole 9 yards. And if I want to add $1,800, they'll put a fucking backhoe on the back of the damn thing for me. So I'm like, fucking done. And you know what my payment every fucking month on that thing is? $279 fucking dollars on the package. $200. I like my truck payment is way more than that.
Well, you're going to need to build a barn for that tractor right away, you know.
Not a problem. That's part of the house. We're getting a 40 by 40 insulated barn put up that is going to be basically my man cave. That's
80 by 80.
Is that where the hood's going? Is that where the hood's going?
No. I have my own room inside the house.
Just remember what I told you. Whatever size barn or garage you think you need, double it. That's what you really need.
Yeah, but this is what we can currently afford. If I need more space later, I can buy a couple of sea containers, because sea containers here are really cheap. I don't know what they are up there.
They're ridiculous.
Sea containers here are like $2,000 for the 40-foot, 8-foot tall guys delivered. Wait,
how much?
$2,000.
It's like 5,000 here. $5,000
minimum.
No,
we're like 5 to 8 grand,
and that might not even be delivered.
No, right. that includes delivery and setup wherever you fucking want it. It's $2,000.
Yeah, ours are stupid. I looked into getting a couple, and I was like, I don't need them that bad.
Well, I live close to the ocean, and that's called a sea container. So
yeah, Port of Galveston, right?
Yeah, the Port of Houston. Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but so yeah, like sea containers here are really, really cheap. They're the really nice ones. Usually single-use ones, where they've only used them once. Right. They're really cheap. They're like, $2,000 to $2,500 depending on which size you want and how big you want it. But like the 40-footers are like about $2,000 delivered and set up. So if we wanted to do another shed or a bigger one, I would just pop two of them down next to each other. And then
put the hood over top both of them?
Yeah, they just build over the top of them from there. And that would be like the tractor, the boat storage, shit like that would be that.
And that's a pretty fucking secure tool room right there.
Oh, yeah. You put I'll just put all of my work and regular tools inside of that thing. All my farm implements and shit like that I could carry or move would be on there too. But
what you're telling me is I need 2, 4, 6 of them to make a 3-sided, 2 high. Weld them all together.
No, you want to be able to drive through. You only want you want 2 on each side.
He's trying to make a house. He's making a house.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I want a he shed. Okay.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that you guys could totally buy 3 of them, spend $6,000, weld them together, put 2 next to each other and 1 across the fucking top, and then
Can I borrow your backhoe if I want to bury mine?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
But then you could have your fucking house out there on the fucking land for $6,000.
You see me pop up like that little kid in what the fuck was that movie there with Mel Gibson there?
Oh.
The Road Warrior. The kid in the
Road Warrior. Yeah.
All right.
The other kid's like a little gerbil out of the ground. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool, man. Like it's pretty neat. They're pretty cheap, so they're easy to work with around here. Everybody's got a couple of them. So I'll probably get some of those for like a tool shed, that kind of thing, and set that up. My wife wants one to do she wants me to build her a big giant microgreens out of one of those sea containers.
Awesome. So that would be awesome.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is, let me describe the plan to you guys. I can throw a picture up. Do you think a picture would be helpful? Let me throw a picture up so you guys can see what I'm kind of fucking talking.
Well, they actually had those things on YouTube as well, where they actually take the shipping containers, and then the whole bottom is like the pumps and everything else, and then they have the trays going up in shelves, and they call it vertical growing now, don't they? Isn't it vertical growing tech?
There are some, yeah.
So here's a picture of what I'm going to be loosely. This is kind of loosely based on what I'm growing doing my wife's thing is. So what it'll have is she'll have her sea container there, and then it'll have her little processing area in the front. And then what I'll have is a set of shelves that are just rolling shelves that'll have her hydroponics on. But I'm going to put those little. Have you seen at Harbor Freight those little water quick connect couplings? Like
they're like an air
Absolutely.
coupling.
They look like air chucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use those. Concrete mixing tubs. So like they're like 36 inches long by like fucking 6 or 8 inches tall. I'm gonna use those as her grow beds, and I'm gonna put on them the little quick connect in the front and one little quick connect in the back. And so when she rolls her stuff out, she just has to unquick connect the top one and unquick connect the bottom one. So the top water goes in, bottom one water goes out. So other than that, it'll look like a U comes off the front part of the. So the water goes in the back side of the top shelving unit, and then the water goes through the fucking first mat, down to the second mat, down to the fifth one, and then she'll have to decouple the bottom one and decouple the top one. Then she can roll that entire shelving unit across her nice little cheap as fuck linoleum floors that I'm going to buy just like the absolute shittiest, ugliest, fucking cheapest linoleum I can get and put it in the bottom over to her processing area where she'll have her sink. And then she won't have a fucking TV. She don't even got a goddamn TV in there. But she'll have her little sink and everything where she can dump everything out, cut it across the top, roll up her seed mats, and then dispose of them, feed them to the fucking cows, the goats, whatever, pigs, chickens. And then she can rinse off her greens and then the packaging area right behind her. But the entire thing will just have LED strip lights across it. LED strip lights are fucking everywhere, just tons of them. Solar panels across the top of it to just provide the power for the LED lights. And then her little packaging area for doing all of her microgreens. And she'll just selling commercial microgreens. She should, we visited a place that had a setup quite similar to this, and they were producing 2,000 pounds of microgreens a month.
Damn.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, okay. So I kind of covertly took notes and pictures, and then this one was a design that I liked. It was made by a Growbox company, but I liked their design better than the guy's design. So I kind of I just saved it as a screenshot, and I'll build it very similar to this. I think it'll probably cost me about $2,500 for the seed container and the gravel pad I want to put it on. I'll just trench over a water line, some Wurzbo or some of that flexible water line, so no big deal. It's a cold water line. The stainless steel stuff, there's a lot of Restaurant Depot and a lot of restaurant resale places here in San Antonio area, so not a big deal. Between San Antonio, Houston, and Austin, we should be able to find all the stainless steel shit we need.
Right.
Because there's 3 huge major metropolitan areas, so we should be able to find all that crap. And then a little mini split to keep everything nice and cool.
Oh yeah, those work perfect for fucking.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
And the bitch is done. Just insulate the inside of it, and I'll just put that foam board. Like you can buy it, at Home Depot or anywhere else like that. It's the same stuff that I've built my
flow hood
out of. Yeah, but I'll buy the one that has the aluminum backing on it. So I'll put the aluminum side, the shiny side, towards the inside, so it reflects all light.
Nice.
But that's the idea right there of her microgreens. Then it'll just be it'll be just like a nutrient film technique type microgreens, just constantly flowing water. It'll go back to I'm not going to use an IBC tote, but I found a 130-gallon vertical water storage system. It's built for like preppers and shit like that to fit in like a standard closet. And so it's tall and narrow. So it gives me plenty of head pressure because it's tall, right? The things
get gravity out of that bitch.
Yeah, it's like 6 feet tall and like maybe 3 feet in diameter. And so it fits through your standard, doorways and stuff like that. And so you set it somewhere, you fill it up with your freaking liquid and gravity feeds. So I'll be able to use just with like a very small pump and run it through all of the different trays and everything and rock and roll. Just a little trickle. And she'll just reset her new tray where she'll throw down the expanded mats. And the mats are like, I don't know what they're made out of, like that rattan type material. It looks like it looks kind of like ramen noodle squares. You know what I'm talking about? But it's made out of like, so it looks like the mat material anyway is edible by animals. It's basically like the stalks of plants moving together, but it looks like a ramen noodles in a square, but it's cheap and it comes in huge fucking rolls, and you just cut it to the size you want. It's the same kind of. It's similar to the stuff they use in swamp coolers.
Oh, the mesh fucking filter pads.
Yeah, like
like
coconut mat.
Yeah, kind of like a coconut mat.
Yeah,
but it's supposed to be.
That's what I've always used for whenever I do microgreens. I've always used the cocoa pads.
It's supposed to be edible by animals and ruminants. So that's what that was a big selling point to us. It's like it's like I think like 14 cents more per square foot, but
worth every penny if you don't have waste. Yep.
Yeah, if I'm able to just straight feed that with all the roots and the cut off stems of the microgreens to the fucking cattle without having to worry about breaking down or clogging up their gut or anything, then it's fucking worth it to me. If they get carbohydrates out of it and they get all their fucking greens out of it as well, then at that point it's just I'm using a fodder system and selling it as two different things. I'm making my fodder for my animals and my microgreens for my wife's little microgreen business she wants. And I think it'll work great, man. I mean, if it doesn't fucking work great, then I guess it'll be just my new tomato grow room.
Everybody loves tomatoes.
There you go.
Yeah, like
it's gonna be like that goddamn juicer on top of the fridge.
If it was a juicer, it would be great. I'd use it. It's not a juicer. It's one of those fucking meat
wax
yeah.
Or the Ron Popeil sandwich maker or some shit.
No, it makes
butter
easy press.
Infuser.
Yeah, it's an infuser. It makes a concentrated THC fucking butter and shit like that. And it's like I can't use it for fucking anything. It's completely useless for anything else. And she's used it once and got scared because it's too strong. So it's like it's just there. I want to fucking sell the bitch.
Fucking pussy.
Yeah.
Farrell called you a pussy.
My wife is gonna kill you, or me, actually. Now
I was thinking probably you, but you know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Nice knowing you, buggers.
I am not scared to risk your life. I'm not even a little bit scared to risk your life.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared for your life. It's like some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. But so that's basically where I'm at as far as the hydroponics and aquaponics goes. Is that I think we've covered pretty much everything, right?
Heck yeah.
Well, there's tons of shit we haven't covered, but everything's basically kind of around the same thing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Can you think of anything else you want to cover?
We've never even covered all the different kinds of substrates that you could use. We never covered all the different kind of light they can use if it's inside. Dude, there is so much shit left we haven't even touched on yet.
And if anybody wants to get more in depth, we do have a gardening section in the FAFO Discord.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
All are welcome to discuss all the tomatoes or zucchinis or whatever you want to grow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've always used Hydrotron or like pea gravel, and those are the only two things I've ever used because they're cheap as shit.
I use clay pellets and rock wool. So
I use the cheap bags of. I don't know if it's gravel or it's weird stuff. Pebbles. Pebbles from Walmart. They come in a plastic
I've seen
bag.
people use lava rock. They use great. It worked great.
I have used lava rock.
I bet that would be
it takes
good
a bit to clean it, but other than that, it's good stuff.
Oh, I was about to ask. I wonder if that would be good to clean because I can only imagine.
I threw a bunch of it in a wheelbarrow.
Right.
And I ran the water hose on it for a while. and then carefully dumped it out without pouring it out, and then ran the water hose. I just kept doing that over and over until I got it clean.
All right. See, it doesn't quite float, but it's really light. So I would get a barrel in a 5-gallon bucket or something, and then put my water hose in the bottom of it, and then just run the fucking water.
Or just poke a small hole in the bottom of the barrel and just let it run, yeah.
Or I just let it overflow.
How about clog that shit
flow
up quick
through there and overflow. Yeah.
You put a screen over top of the bucket, like, yeah, that would work perfect.
Lava rock would work really well, though. Like, I think, yeah, I might do. Well, lava rock here is really expensive. Lava rock here is a luxury item.
Oh, so, you know what'd be cool? I mean, it's totally unnecessary, but crushed marble.
Oh, that would look cool.
It'd be beautiful, but it's totally unnecessary.
Oh, yeah. All right, if you were going to go like it's bougie as fuck, you might as well use that like that crushed glass. It looks like diamonds.
But if we ever open a business building these things for people and they go to their house, then you worry about
aquarium.
That. Yeah.
Aquarium marbles.
I tried to fucking tell you guys to market my fucking design because you can stack all the goddamn equipment into one 5-gallon bucket on top and ship the whole fucking thing off to people like a 10-bucket system, and it'll just take like one big box because it'll all stack inside of itself. But nobody wanted to market it. Nobody wanted to sell it.
That's like that ebb and grow system you could buy. It comes shipped in a 55-gallon drum, but everything is in there. Everything. Timers, pumps, you name it, it's all in there. Those are hard to come by nowadays, though.
We just fucking all need to, goddamn it. Job, come buy the property next to me.
Okay.
Fucking Deadpool, come buy the property next to me. Michael Nutty, buy the property behind me.
There you go.
We'll combine the fucking thing.
Throw out tunnels between each other's secret bases.
Fuck yes.
Awesome.
We're gonna put a gap.
I want a zip line. I want a zip line over to the furrows.
Have you seen
zip line?
Have you seen the gabions? Gabion is that rock-filled wire basket, right? So we're gonna put a gabion wall across like a 3-foot high around the entire fucking property, and then on top of that, we'll put a 3-foot fucking chain link fence just to fuck everything and every goddamn thing out there, and have defensible fucking bulletproof fucking positions, and then just sliding gates, and then we'll just turn it into one big fucking farm compound, and we'll just have like 25. Well, I guess at that point it'd be like 40 acres, and everybody just fucking rock and roll, and we'll just be like, all right, this is us.
Yeah, you know? Concrete walls with broken beer bottles embedded in the top. Yeah,
no reason.
Yeah, like we're in Jamaica. We got to have the fucking glass wall.
Yeah,
that's what they do down in South America. That's where I saw it.
They do that in Iraq too. That's really popular.
Cuba and Jamaica, it's really big. Yeah,
it's pretty popular.
I saw it in Venezuela myself, but yeah, pretty close.
Y'all just come by the properties next to me because they're really cheap right now, but they're fixing to go up because they haven't even gone live yet.
Well, why don't you buy them and then go ahead and then you can sell my tomatoes?
Well, I recently got some inside information, and I'm going to be rich pretty soon.
Well,
nice.
Awesome.
I found out I'm supposed to be working on my second million first because it's easier than the first one.
Right?
Oh shit! I never really thought about that. Yeah, working a second first. Yeah, I've been doing it wrong this whole fucking time.
Right? Yep.
Damn it.
Yeah, they say once you start hanging out with rich people, you get rich faster.
Stop starting at one. Just skip to motherfucking two.
Yep.
Right.
It's like assembling fucking some shit from IKEA. You just fuck the stupid steps and just start at like 5.
Well, get rid of the first 3 pages.
Here's my good news FAFO quote for the day. I'm going to give it early.
No, we're about ready.
I have no idea who the guy was that said it. He was a really rich bitch. He said the secret to making $1 million is not to try and make $1 million. The secret is to try and find something that makes you $1 and repeat it 1 million times.
That's a lot of hand jobs.
That's, I say even at $5, that's a lot of BJs.
It's gonna take a long time.
That's gonna take a minute. Well, you'll have like one of them fucking arms.
Hold my beer and watch this.
You're gonna crush a glass beer. They have fucking crab-like claws. All right, guys. Let's. This honestly could probably go on another hour and a half.
We haven't even. We've only got all the basics down. And we were missing like half the basics.
That's a good introduction, though. It gives people are going to get curious. They're going to start fucking googling some shit. They'll start asking for more questions, and maybe we do another one of these, or maybe we bring on an expert. I feel like we have good experience in this.
Wait, you want to know? You want to know who we already know that's done tomatoes for money for a long, long time? Carl.
I don't know Carl.
Canadian trimmer.
Yeah.
Oh, just like he used it before he got into mycology. He was growing tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
I have a hard time giving my tomatoes away. What are you talking about?
Well, maybe we have a fucking expert on later, because I feel like we know what we're talking about, but I don't feel like we're like.
There's always somebody out there with a little more information.
Yeah,
always.
Right.
And I would, Deadpool, reach out to MPG Gardener and see if on YouTube and see if he'd love to come on. Like, maybe he would. Yeah. Like, just see. Who the fuck knows? Let's all hit him up.
What's his favorite saying? Good Lord willing, I'll see y'all next time.
Yeah. Let's see if he'll come on and just.
Now you owe him 20. You owe him 25 cents now. That's
probably.
Let's see if we can get him on. I mean, he might not want to come on our
he's
podcast.
He's a very straight-laced person. Yes.
Yeah.
See, there was the one. So what you're saying is Deadpool, shut up. Is what you're saying?
No, we're
that's
saying.
What I just heard.
We're saying Farrell stop saying fuck every third sentence.
Right.
If I can't use the word fuck, dude, you're gonna hear me just saying a lot.
I'm gonna have to say
the worst thing he can say is no.
Yeah.
Nobody can ever say yes to a question you never asked.
Yeah, let's see if we can get some other fucking random people on here. Some other fudging people on here. Or, I'm going to try leave it to Beaver style. Fudging. But anyway, let's see if we can try to get some experts on. I like
we'll do how about this? For the next few months, we'll do one monthly growing something other than mycology. So it'll be like a series. We'll do one a month so we can plan them out. So I'll get some professionals in. We'll get some good ones in.
Yeah.
Deadpool is good.
Yeah,
he is a social engineer. He's good at people.
Yeah. It's not like me. Yeah, he's way better. He's way better at talking people into shit than I am.
Yeah, he was listing off some of the people he has lined up for future podcasts, and I was like, "How did you even meet this guy?" Like, I have my ways.
Well,
yeah, I'm like,
honestly, like a lot of people that we know, like especially you and me, Farrell, fucking people are like, "Oh my god, he's famous." He's like, "What? What? He's what?"
Like, no,
I'm not gonna say how it is.
Famous. Trust me,
you know who it is. But because I'm gonna tell him. Our buddy Whitebeard, he's famous.
Yeah,
he's super famous.
He's famous. I can never talk to him again. I'm scared now.
Yeah, he's famous.
Like,
I learned I've got association. I meet other famous people.
Everybody that's came on to our podcast has enjoyed it. Like, it's just a talk amongst friends. You'll never find anybody that has come on here and hung out with us for a while that goes, God, that sucked. It's so high pressure.
I mean, we're pushing it to having a subject. I mean, zero script whatsoever.
Yeah, you're lucky if we can come up with a name for the goddamn.
We just try and blow it in a general direction when we start.
We did come up with a new measurement. I'm keeping a hold of that bitch. I'm using that at work. Like, that's fucking happening.
The RJUs.
Dude, I'm introducing that shit at work. We're going to start using that to measure people. I'm going to be calling it, this patient is approximately 8 RJUs tall. Which is
like, I sat on it, and I sent them a lot of pain. I'm like, so how many RJUs is it?
That would be a Keurig. That would be a Keurig. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because, I mean, not Deadpool, but sorry about that. What is that? God damn it. South Park came up with the Keurigs. Like, it's a measurement of poo, or like diameter of sphincter was a Keurig.
How did I miss that?
It was named after Katie Keurig. It was named after Katie Keurig. But it was like, Yeah, but they came up with the measure of it. It was like, oh, that's almost 4 Keurigs high. You know, like,
I saw a gun show one time. They were measuring how powerful a gun was by how many Barbara Walters interview tapes it could go through when they shot it.
Oh my God.
People are having a good time.
Jesus, that warms my heart.
Warms my cockle. I don't have a heart.
Anyway, so we've already had John went ahead and jumped the fucking gun.
I'm sorry.
Gave his happiness and sunshine.
Yeah, Steve, you got to start with me because I'm not going to do anything nice. I'm going to be an asshole. Deadpool. You are the person who usually has to raise it up afterwards.
It comes to the end of this fantastic podcast. We promise to continue this series with more interesting people and more in-depth stuff when it comes to hydroponics, aquaponics. And then later on, we'll do some more gardening type stuff and some more farming type stuff. And if you all are interested in it, and even then we can get into some food preservation or ways to save money.
We can do series on anything.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the whole point of FAFO Topics is, guys. Go to the goddamn Discord.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
Fuck around and find out. Like, if there's something that interests you guys, especially with the world kind of getting shitty like it is now, if you want to learn how to cook something, make something, do bread, do your own starters, make your own beer, fucking something like that, this is the place. We have the knowledge. We do this stuff every day. Honestly, I don't really buy that much from the grocery store. I pretty much make everything myself. And you see pictures that I post everywhere. I make, we had pizza tonight. I made it myself. Everything was there that I made myself. So, it had all my own sausage on it. It had my tomatoes from my fucking garden, the whole 9 yards. It's really not that difficult. If it was really hard to make your own food, then people would have died out a long goddamn time ago. It's really fucking easy if you know what you're doing. So we're happy to talk about these kind of things. And we'll bring mycology into it. There's a bunch of different ways to bring mycology into it. But we don't want to just kind of paint ourselves into a corner of only mycology.
Because even we will run out of shit to say eventually.
Yeah. I mean, mushrooms are great. Mushrooms are fun. And mycology has a lot to do with farming. Yes. If you talk about your mycelial relationships in the ground and how you can use that to grow more mushrooms while you're still growing your tomatoes and stuff in the ground.
Or you use the carbon dioxide that the mushrooms produce to help your plants grow bigger.
Exactly.
Another option.
Yep. Yeah. So they're very, very tightly interwoven. And they're very, very synergistic.
It's called fucking nature, dude. It's called fucking nature.
I believe with the proper CO2 levels, plants generally grow like 30% faster. I believe.
Oh, yeah.
The number.
Yeah. But so, with that said, we've got a little long this time, but that's fine. We're going to start with Deadpool, see what kind of nice, happy, and interesting things he has to say for the day. What do you got, buddy?
Well, I guess I got to try to be nice now because fucking Trim fucked it up. But,
how
about this?
I can have it.
Nah, all right, that's fine. How about this? Mindset. Everything involves mindset, whether it's mycology, whether it's going on a trip or a journey. Setting is the most important thing, whether you're starting fucking a new hobby. So just make sure your mindset's you always think shit through first, or else you get fucked right in the ass by Ron Jeremy talk.
By Ron Jeremy Unit. Yeah.
By the unit Ron Jeremy.
RJUs.
All right. Marco Nutty, what do you got for us, buddy?
All right. Well, I'd say in the topic of gardening, if for every seed that you sow, it's important to understand to go into it with patience and make sure to care for everything that you do, and things will come through. Even if it's a weed, you're fucking growing something.
Yeah. Kind of like trike. Is that kind of like trike?
Yep.
Is that working on my
Hey, I'm growing something. I'm an expert at that.
I guess, yeah, okay. I like that. All right.
And
you guys wait till the value of trike goes up. I'm going to be rich.
Yeah. I'm rich, bitch.
Coming from me, it's going to be, if you're good at something, share it with the world. If you know how to do something, reach out to some people, whether it's in this group or in a different group. Share your knowledge. If you can ride a bike better than everybody else, teach a kid in your your community to ride the bike the same way. If you can bake bread or garden or farm or do something else, share that knowledge, spread it around, help somebody out. You might meet some really fun and interesting people in the process. If you're looking for a way to meet people, a lot of the times, if you're looking at your community colleges will let experts come in and teach classes. So if you happen to be super, super good at X, Y, and Z, and you consider yourself to be an expert, you can go teach for a semester at a community college without a teaching certificate and just to go and teach a class. So that's how I learned to sew. There was a bunch of these old ass.
You're gay.
Hey, I sew too. What are you talking about?
Exactly. See, point proven.
There's a bunch of these old ass crazy ladies. They didn't have a degree in anything. They just knew how to sew really well, and they liked teaching people how to sew. So we went in. They wrote a little grant. They got a whole bunch of fucking sewing machines donated to them, and they taught all of us how to sew. And it was great. It was fun, and it was a great way to meet the shit out of women. It was a lot of fun because I was like the only guy, and it was great times. Yeah.
I spent an entire winter learning how to knit. It was awesome. Once. Stocking caps and beanies and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you knit a flashlight?
I used to work only in the summers, and I got into the knitting. It was a good way to pass the time, and we used to give them to the homeless whenever we were done.
How exactly?
I made like 40 of them in one winter.
Just because you start saying that you gave them the homeless people does not stop me from making fun of you.
Oh, you're welcome to do so.
That seems like you're so fucking wholesome, Trim.
I have ADHD. I have really bad ADHD, and it just helps me to keep busy. And it was an awesome thing. I could be watching TV and sit there and knit.
Yeah.
So
I haven't done it since, but I
give that 2 RJUs up.
30 inches up. Woo! So if you know how to do something,
screw you guys.
If you know how to do something, share the knowledge. Share the knowledge.
You chimney Christmas suckers, butchers.
See what I'm saying?
With that said, we absolutely love our listeners. We love you guys, and we'll be in the chat room, probably in the Voicey area or doing something like that here shortly after this podcast, just to kind of let off steam. I'm pretty fucking pumped still, and I don't feel like I feel like I've got too much blood in my alcohol system still. Because I've been so busy talking, I have not been power drinking through this as I should have been. Because it's my one day to get drunk. Damn it. And so I'm going to continue this. Nice. We love our listeners. And thank you for tuning in. Last time on the last podcast, we already talked about all of our demographics that keep going up and up. You Canuckastanis are really bringing it home.
Yeah, baby.
Almost a 10% Canucka.
You guys will always be my favorite strippers. Always.
They are. They do have the best strippers. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, what makes a Canuckastani stripper freaking different than Latin
because when I was in high school, you could go to Canada because you had to be 18 to drink. So we would go to Canada by the border in high school, get drunk, and go to the strip clubs because it was legal.
And in Canada they take it all off. There's none of that.
Yeah.
Well, that's Texas.
I don't know. I'm not really well versed on my stripper by state, but I know they take it all off in Canada.
Stripper by state. That should be a great. We could make a shirt that just has stripper by state with like colors of like which ones take off what.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. So we gotta make. Does that mean we have to make just a gray one for Trim?
That's not
different
funny.
Shades of gray.
Well, I mean, he'll be able to tell the difference in the grays. It's not like he's looking like if it's not black, it's not white, it's fucking gray. There's a billion shades of gray.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna have to educate you on how colorblind works someday. I'll wait till another day.
No, I'm good. Thanks. I'm good.
We love you guys. All right, and thank you all for listening. Love you all, and peace out.
Later.
Night.
Yeah.
All right, boys and girls.
Excellent.
Still on.
That was
still recording. You're still recording.
No, I hit the stop button.
Nope.
I hit the stop button. It said stop and call right this fucking second.
Nope.
I don't know why it's not.
Nope.
You're wrong, Colonel Sanders.
Still
You're
recording.
wrong.
I don't know why it's this.
It's a runaway train.
4 hours later.
It's